Hello everyone, this is Dr. R. Dinesh Kannan, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics from PSG College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. Today we are going to see the topic is a Pigouvian tax. So as we all know what is the tax, the meaning of the tax is it's a compulsory contribution which is done by all the individuals to the government without expecting any direct benefits. A Pigouvian tax is a tax assessed against private individuals or business peoples for engaging activities to create a side effects in the society. So, for contributing the side effect, the government have to be charged. So, that is called the Pigouvian tax. In the normal tax, the government may charge because for their benefit given to the peoples. But in this Pigouvian tax, the tax which is collected by the government for business peoples for doing some bad activities for the society. So, this is the difference between normal tax and then Pigouvian tax. That means it's adverse side effects which is done by the private to the society. So, that is called the Pigouvian tax. So, the author Pigou belongs to an English economist. He is the pioneer to introduce the tax to side effect. So, normal circumstance the benefit which is received by way of tax, but in this Pigouvian tax the tax is for collecting the side effect which is done by the society. It is occurred by the industrial activities and pollutions which is made by the users. So, what this is called a Pigouvian tax, it is an entirely different topic. And also a Pigouvian tax is intended to tax the producer of goods or services that create adverse side effects of the society. Already I have explained before, and economists argue that the cost of these negative externalities such as environmental pollutions are borne by society rather than the producer. So, here I want to explain what is the externality. That means the person have been affected, but that the affected person does not have any direct relationship in the production process or consumption. So, the third party is affected by the activities done by the industries or some other activities. So, that is called the externalities. So, the Pigouvian tax is collected only for the negative externalities. So, what this tax is very important nowadays, the global warming. So, these kind of activities are made by the industrial activities, but the industrial activities done by some one person, but the affected peoples are all the individuals. So, this is called the negative externality. For that the tax should be collected, that is called the Pigouvian tax. The purpose of the Pigouvian tax is to redistribute the cost back to the producer or user of the negative externality. Okay, that means the affected people should be sacrificed by some amount of money. The affected peoples have to be given some amount of money for their sacrifice done or otherwise they have acquired some problems. No, so that problems have to be sacrificed by the money. That money would be collected by the industrial peoples. So, that is called the Pigouvian tax. Example, a carbon emission and the plastic bags producer company have to be pay a Pigouvian tax. So, that will be contributed to the environmental safeguarding procedures. The example for a Pigouvian tax, that is one of the most popular Pigouvian tax is a carbon emission tax. So, everyone will very well know what is the carbon emission. So, the carbon emission is the unwanted materials which is emitted by the industrialist for the society. So, the carbon emission should be compensated by the tax. So, the government imposes a carbon emission tax on any company that burns fossil fuels. When burn fossil fuels emit greenhouse gases that causes global warming which are damaging our planet. So, the carbon tax is intended to that factory, those who are emitting greenhouse gases. The end of the carbon tax is called as the Pigouvian tax. So, what is the need for bringing Pigouvian tax? The Pigouvian tax is meant to discourage that kind of activities, the activities which are damaging the environment. So, that will be discouraged by way of imposing heavy taxes on that industry. So, the Pigouvian tax is meant to discourage activities that impose cost of production onto third parties and the society as a whole. According to Pigou, negative externalities prevent a market economy from reaching equilibrium. So, that means attaining the full employment is main goal of all the economy. By the side, we want to attain full employment and also we have the role to safeguard the environment also. So, for the attainment is inevitable there should be a carbon emission, and at the same time we want to safeguard the environment also. So, the Pigouvian tax is helping to equilibrium both carbon emission and at the same time attaining the full employment by developing countries. So, the adverse effect might be corrected by way of the Pigouvian tax. So, what is the adverse effect means? Carbon emission which makes the environment global warming, and at the same time the economy also wants to attaining full employment. So, these two should be compensated by way of Pigouvian tax. So, what is the difficulties? There are some difficulties in calculating Pigouvian tax. So, the Pigou is the economists have suggested the tax should be the remedy for solving carbon emission. We have to follow some other. So, likewise there are some difficulties in calculating Pigouvian tax. The Pigouvian tax encountered by Austrian economists. Some of the economists are criticizing that calculation of the tax for carbon emission is such a difficult problem. So, we cannot able to putting cost for the carbon emission which is done by the industry, and also we are not able to find how much emission which is done by the industries or carbon emitting factors. So, this is the problem which is occurring in the Pigouvian tax calculating method, and there are some advantages in the Pigouvian taxes, that are reduction in the negative externalities. That means the negative externality means the third party affecting level. So, through the Pigouvian tax we can reduce the third party affecting level by way of continuously imposing the Pigouvian tax, we can reducing the third parties affecting. So, this is the major benefit which is bringing by the Pigouvian tax. It is advocated by Pigou, and also money can be put back into the community and then environment. The money can be circulated by way of collecting taxes. The rich become richer and the poor become the poorer. It will be compensated by way of collecting taxes. So, the Pigouvian tax is also contributing to equilibrium, make the money supply development, and also put back the money into the society itself. So, this is the two advantages from Pigouvian taxes. There are some disadvantages also from the Pigouvian tax, that is more burdens for the business. So, when the tax is imposed continuously to the business firms or any producers, means that the industries are get more affected. So, their inducement level will be getting reduced. So, this is more burden for business people. And the next, we cannot stop only by the way of tax. Tax alone is not only solution to stop these problems. So, we cannot stop the people to use that product. So, nowadays the plastic bags are making more damages to the environment, but we cannot stop the people to use the plastic bags, and we cannot set the standard for tax. Finally, Pigou has advocated that we cannot put the standard how much the cost for how much the emission, it cannot be calculated. So, these are all the disadvantages for Pigouvian taxes. Okay, I hope you all will understand about the Pigouvian tax. I also believe that I can clearly convey the meaning of the tax. Thank you all.